Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Taxonomy Tuesday. We help each other identify and appreciate what we have found recently, or as this season has been, not so recently. And maybe we could get into some things to look forward to in the season. So if anybody's got anything to share that from their computer, put it in the chat. And other than that, we have some lichens that Sue sent in last week that we did not get to, and Hunter sent some stuff in. Uh, would you like to kick us off, Hunter?
Is Jason here tonight?
I didn't see him.
Okay, let's start with my latest email that I sent today then,
Sure thing.
or yesterday, this week. So these are Sarcoscypha scarlet cups, and they've come out, and my husband's on top of it. He said, "Let's go to our favorite spot to see if there's any scarlet cups," and sure enough, they were out, and it's been very dry here. We've not had the snow, we've had very little moisture, so I was really pleasantly surprised to see them. And I guess they're really kind of the first mushroom we get of the year, and it's really nice. And I used his phone to take the picture. I didn't even have my phone with me. um and then I tried to do some microscopy, because I don't know if you guys remember last year I was able to get an assay with the spores in it of this mushroom. I tried and I tried, and I just wasn't able to get anything worth showing, unfortunately. But I'll try again. And this is a nice display of them. So that's it on that. And then
Do you know the species on those? I think there's two different
Dudley.
species.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say dudleyi, but I mean,
Uh-huh.
I couldn't even really get good spores. I don't
Uh,
know. I don't know what happened. So I really, yeah, the
They
microscopy.
look very dry.
Yeah, it is dry, and maybe that's it. I my little laboratory is a complete disaster again, as it gets so quickly, and so what the conditions weren't great for success, I must say. But I think it's dudleyi.
yeah, I think there's one other species that people have been saying is maybe a little more common than Dudleyi. I forget. Now I found these 2 years ago, or maybe the other species. I don't know. You know what? I'll find the ones online that I found and put in the.
Okay, there's that
Oh, that's the one. Austriaticus or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think these are them, but I think, are those the ones that have more of like a little stem?
No, that one is geez.
That's the big
That one's later
one,
too. That one comes
right?
out later.
Yeah.
What's that
Okay.
one? What's that one? The one with the stem. I find it every year. Uh,
Um.
uh,
Let's see.
The stem one is accidentalis.
Oh, right.
okay.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, I'm not really sure what I got here, but I I'll try to do. I think when I was able to get that ask guy, I had settled on Doodley, and I'm thinking these are the same kind, but that's not a fact. So I should I'll try to get some fresher ones and try again.
They're a pretty color for this time of year.
It was so nice to see them. It really was so good to see them. Yeah. So yeah. So and then I did some log flipping because that was really all we had was the scarlet cups, and this thing was under the log, and I think it is probably not a fungus and more like a wasp's nest of some sort. But
I was thinking some sort of caterpillar, some sort of moth or butterfly or something.
mm, maybe it's quite large for that. But I suppose there are some really large moths. It's it's probably about 4 inches long, and
Or
yeah, yeah, and at least an inch wide, and maybe a little more than an inch wide. And when I touched it, it had some give to it. So, but what I was noting, like if you really zoom in, I don't know if you're able to zoom in more, is I feel like it's made out of mycelial, like mycelial hairs. And I know I recently saw a talk with Amy Honan and about how mushrooms get around, and she talked about how these orioles um, in the tropics use mycelial threads to make their nests, and so yeah, I feel like that maybe this is made from mycelial threads and is a nest of some sort. Now, that being said, there's also like that weird fungus, that fire rug. I think I showed you guys from Wisconsin that I saw that I think a Cropronopsis grows out of, or a Coprinus or something. Um,
Coprinellus.
yeah, yeah, and
I think it's Coprinellus domesticatus, maybe. I'm not sure.
oh, I'm not sure. Oh, you know what? Well, it's yes, it is Domesticus. Yes, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Domesticus. I put an extra syllable in there, I guess.
I mean,
Yeah.
if this was made as some kind of mycelium, I mean, if you would have pulled one of them off, it'd be pretty easy under the microscope, I would think. You would know pretty fast.
Yeah, I should have done that. Yeah, that would have been neat. And then it also looks like it has these little like crystal things in front of it. Um, I don't know. I don't think that was ice or snow. I mean, we didn't have snow, and it really wasn't. I don't think it's ice, but I thought those were kind of interesting. But I did put it on inat, and there's a wasp nest that's similar but really not the same. And then they thought maybe the fire rug, but it's not. It could be something similar, but I don't believe it's that. So yeah, I think it is some sort of insect nest. But I thought I'd share because I do think there's mycelial threads in here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, 4 inches is pretty big.
Well, and it's always good to find something under a log because a lot of times when I flip them, there's really not much to speak of. So this was on a tree, and I think the just the way it looks is really interesting, but I think it's just very atypical. And I'm thinking it's Irpex lac is it lacteus? Um, that's what I think it is. Uh, just kind of very old or dried out or something. Um, I looked at a few other things, but I don't. Uh, Nothing else is really fitting fitting the bill. So, and the tree was like broken. I do show a picture of the bark. I'm not even sure what it is. It's a small tree. Like, yeah, I think
Yeah,
that,
there might be some maple or something.
yeah, I think maybe that sounds right. Or even like a buckthorn or something. I, I don't know. Is there one more
Seems
example
very
of
flat to it.
the bark? Or,
No, the fungus on the bark seems very thin.
yeah, yeah, it was weird. I'm. It's funny I hadn't noticed it
Are
before.
they? Is this composed of spines?
I think so.
Are they pointy spines or are they sort of flattened spines?
They're more flattened, I believe.
Yeah, that suggests Irpex over Rhabdomyces, let's say. It's
Yeah,
hard to tell here. It's a little bit out of focus.
yeah,
Um,
things are more organized, than like I think other species like Rhabdomyces suggest. How that kind of is a little like more interesting design, where this is kind of just all the same. I think kind of
yeah,
all
there's
the same.
probably a few other possibilities as well. It looks like it's kind of old.
Yeah.
Yeah, very old. But that's what made it so neat, because it had this kind of like leopard pattern. The way it's aged um just really made it look different and weird, and I like it.
Yeah, it's cool, whatever it is. It
Yeah.
I guess if you wanted some spores or whatever out of that, you just peel up a chunk of that and try your best. I don't know if anybody's tried to do that, but if
That's
it's
a good
easy to just
thought.
lay some down.
And even just to look at it with the like a dissecting scope or whatever, just to get a closer look, or even just a hand lens, you know what I mean? um
Yeah,
yeah, so I like that idea. I'll try to do that if I'm back there, which I should be. So yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's good to see anything this time of year. So I think that's all I have in this email.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So other people can go, and then if we want, we can look at my lichens. Or I was kind of hoping to wait, but if Sue has lichens too, and you're going to show
yeah.
those, then after we might as well, probably. So
Well, thank you, Hunter.
my pleasure. Thanks.
Let's see. Oh, Dave sent in that one.
Yeah, I sent three things in. If you scroll up to the first link that I put into the chat, that's Maublancomyces. And then the second one is Sarcoscypha. And the third link is to a blast on GenBank of the Sarcoscypha DNA. And it was a bit of a surprise. As if we see that later, you'll see why. So it's either Maublancomyces corfii or Maublancomyces Americana gigas. It's really kind of a cumbersome name, really.
That,
Amerigigas would have been good enough, I'd say. But look at how big it is. That's a penny right there in front of it. A nice big one. So
oh, wow.
yeah, it's got this chambered interior. The stalk and the cap are kind of hard to differentiate, really. I mean, the cap is brown, the stalk is white, but the context just sort of flows into itself in both parts. So I think this one I ate a little bit of. I think I ate like pretty good piece of it, actually. And I thought it was pretty good. Um, but, like I say, I suppose it's not a good idea to recommend eating these because they don't have the greatest reputation. A lot of that may have just been assuming that they were related to Gyromitra esculenta, which they are not. They're a different genus. The genetics is a lot different, I guess. And the spores look like Gyromitra spores, though. It's very similar. These gutules, they're elongated, and
Even got like a little knob.
a little knob on each pole. Yep. And that's how you tell the difference between a Maublancomyces and the thing that's now Brunia or Brunius. I think it's Brunia. I think that might be Paragyromitra. I'm not sure. They all used to be Gyromitra. I'm still getting used to it. But these spores on these Maublancomyces have these pretty well-defined knobs, one on each pole. The Brunia, which is pretty similar looking to these, really, which is it's put in a different genus, though. Those have ornamentation that look like little bubbles, like a lot of tiny bubbles just kind of stuck to the perimeter, to the wall of the spore, concentrated a little bit more toward the poles. So it's not a lot different than this, but these don't have little bubbles. These have on each end. Each pole has one pretty distinct knob.
Hmm.
And now there are other things in this, others of these ascos that have spores that look like these. Some of the discoid ascos, which I think Alden put those back into Dicina, which they used to be in Dicina, then they were in Gyromitra.
It's Neogyromitra.
Neogyromitra. Okay, I knew it was something or other Gyromitra. Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Confusing. Yeah.
Yeah. But that one, Neogyromitra brunia, has the little like clouds, like bubbles or clouds. They're hard to see too. And you have to mount the spores in H2O, KOH, or other sorts of liquids. Just sort of wipe out the ornamentation. You don't see it. And then the Dicina, the ones that are discoid, those have projections on the ends of the spores also, but they look a little bit different. They're a little bit more triangular, sort of tapered. So we found this while looking for morels. This was found toward the end of April. Like I said, the earliest that I have found this type mushroom around here, okay, so it's a little colder around here than, say, southern Jersey, was March 25th. I think it was the 25th, might have been the 26th. A friend of mine found them first, and he found them a couple of days before I found them. So, late March is when you might find these.
Where did you send the other stuff to? Are those in the chat as well?
Yeah, there's two more in the chat.
Oh, yeah,
The
there we
next
go.
one you'll find are the Sarcoscypha, and they look very much like what Hunter was just showing.
The Paragyromitra are the ones that I think do have gyrometrin.
I don't know. I think the only ones that now I'd have to review this. I might be wrong, and you might be right, because I'm still getting used to all this. There's a lot of new information about these, but it's the gyromite, the true gyromitras, the ones that have remained in genus Gyromitra that have gyrometrin, Gyromitra esculenta group. There's several names being used now in North America. I don't even know if we're using esculenta in North America, but they look like esculenta. They have like the thin, sort of fluted stalk and a distinct cap, and then there's this late summer fall species. One of them is Gyromitra infula, and the other is Gyromitra ambigua, or something that sounds like ambiguous, because it looks like the other one, the other late summer one. Those grow on wood. Those have gyrometrin in them, I know. So this looks pretty much like what you showed,
Yeah,
Hunter, and I got this sequenced. So if we go to the next link, oh, and
that,
there's spores
is
too. I
that
got spores
a
from these too. So there's
stem
some
on that?
spore photos.
Is that a stem on the one on the left? Sticking up.
It does look like that might be a stem. Does it say in the notes? Because that might be
Fairly
wood.
long stipes.
Well, okay, fairly long stipes. All right, so that might be different than yours then.
Yeah,
But
I
these are
think
not occidentalis. Occidentalis it looks
no.
different than these. They're smaller.
Yeah, and they don't have the light. They're darker on the underside too, I think. The accidentalis. Like they're very small and a
They're
dark
small.
red and a darker red on the underside too. You
Are
know.
you sure about that? I think they're kind of frosty on the underside.
Okay, maybe.
But yeah, I forget. These are really distinctly pretty cream colored on the underside though.
Yeah,
So
not at least. Yeah.
yeah, so these were on small pieces of wood, little branches, hardwood branches, beech or birch or something. And so I did find, I guess I didn't get any spore. Oh, I did get some spores, but I may have got these spores from scraping some of the hymenium onto a
I
uh,
tried that too.
oh, spores from a drop. Okay, I got some of these spores I got to drop onto a slide. And you know what? One of the features I'm remembering now that's telling is the spores are truncate. See how they're kind of like flattened on the ends? But look at the one
Yeah.
that's next to it. That one's not truncate. And I think I figured this out actually. When these spores, which are really big, they're very big spores. I don't know if I have any dimensions written here, but when they're inside the ascus, they're sort of smashed up against one another, and I think that's what causes them to be look like they're truncate, because they're
Mm.
flattening each other out on the ends. But then once they're deposited out of the ascus, um, they kind of stretch out a little bit and they lose that truncate appearance. I think that's what's going on.
Makes sense.
It does seem to make sense. Yep. Because if you see them, I think there might be a photo here of some spores in an ascus somewhere. Oh, here we are. Yeah, you see how they're like pinned up against one another inside the ascus. So they're kind of pushing each other and flattening each other out on the ends. As what
That's funny
seems to
because a
make
lot
sense.
of times spores are in different species, they'll be kind of like next to each other as opposed to butting up. They'll kind of like get like a third onto the next one.
Yeah. They're both
Oh, mhm.
But
instead of
these definitely look like they're just in a line.
like a string of hot dogs. Like,
Yeah. There's a word for this, like the arrangement of the spores in the ascus. Um, this particular arrangement, there's a technical word for it, because sometimes they're just kind of sort of more randomly inside the ascus, and sometimes they're sort of tilted. Um, but there's a word for this, and I don't remember the word.
good microscopy.
That's not bad. It's okay. Um, some of the spores from the drop looked pretty nice, actually. So there's another link that I put into the chat, and the next one is a blast on GenBank of the DNA for these guys.
Where is it?
I don't know if sometimes the links to GenBank don't work. Like you just get GenBank, you don't get the actual page. So if it doesn't
Uh,
work, we'll just leave, So, but it will be interesting to see.
let's see here.
If it doesn't work, I'll just tell you what I got.
Is this
Oh, that might be it. You might have to go down below here. Yeah, it's not. You know what? It's not giving the actual page. I'll just tell you what happened. These guys are Austriacus or Austriac. I think that's the name, Austriacus. Um, there were lots of sequences on GenBank. One of them said Coccinea, um, but that one was pretty strongly overwhelmed by all the Austriacus. So apparently, somebody
Oh,
probably misidentified Austriacus as Coccinea. That's probably what happened in the one sequence, and that's not unusual on GenBank. There are plenty of mistaken identities, but it seemed pretty overwhelming. There were a whole lot of Austriacus um, matches at very high identity percentage. So I'm saying that that's what I have there is Austriacus. But I'm glad you reminded me about these. That'll be worth going out and looking for. And I remember where I found those. So maybe after a week or so, of some warm weather.
yeah,
yeah.
get some new ones popping up.
Yeah, I didn't find them last year. I've only found them once, these really early ones. Um, the ones that are like have the little stalks and grow on twigs, um those are pretty common. I find them on my own property every year. They're pretty common. But they don't come out until like late May.
That's the accidentalis.
Occidentalis, yeah, they don't come out till like late May usually.
Cool. We got these lichens that Sue sent in. We could take a peek at these and see what we got. Hmm, got some crusty stuff. That's a good photo. Be able to zoom in like that.
That's cool.
Is
Yeah,
there
if
an ID
anybody,
proposal on this?
it didn't say, I don't think in the,
Sue's not here.
I think she is, or was.
I think
Um,
there's a couple options here. Maybe what is it? Xanthomendoza is one of them. And then the other more common one, right?
well, I don't know enough about them.
Yeah,
Is
so
this
I
on
think it's,
tree bark? It looks like it is.
yeah, I agree. So Candelaria is an option, right? And then Xanthomendoza also an option, I think.
Is this a sycamore tree?
Yeah, Karen says
What I
either of
was just
those.
thinking.
Karen says either of those genera that Brandon said um, it would seem to make sense.
Oh, good. Yeah, we got Karen. Yay.
Yeah, that's good because I'm stretching the limits on those two names.
That was good, though, Brandon. You did good coming up with those.
And then this
Said this
is
was on an oak log.
uh,
That
That
almost looks
loo-
like a cross.
yeah, that looks like uh oh, I don't know how to say it. Bisco eggs. There's an X in there.
Biscogniauxia or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not a lichen, right?
No, that would be a
Yes.
crust, I guess. Crust, I guess. No, it's an asco. Um, right? Let me
Um,
look at
I don't know. If you know how to spell it, we could chuck it in inat
I
or something.
definitely don't know how to spell it. It makes no sense, the spelling.
I think it's Byscox. No. Uh,
Hold on, I found it. I found it the other day. Let me go to my net.
It's very silvery here.
oh, Biscogniauxia.
That's
Yeah.
right. I remember when I first joined this club, it was one of the first ones that I looked up, and someone was like, "Oh, just call it the biscuit." Uh, so it's Biscogniauxia.
Holy moly.
Yeah, there's X's and G's.
Let's see what we got here.
Oh, it's in order Xylares,
Oh.
Xylariales.
Hmm.
So yes, an ASCO.
That is a odd photo there. Oh, here we are. Hypoxylon canker. Yeah, that's a spot on photo for what she had there.
Well, now they have bark, but it's super common, and I don't know if it's responsible for killing the tree, but it definitely speeds up the process if you see it on a semi-living tree.
Yeah, it doesn't like that. That doesn't look great. Because it looks like it's not necessarily covering the bark as much as it's like the bark doesn't seem to be there or whatever.
Yeah, it's probably growing underneath the bark on these standing dead trees.
Hmm.
That looks like it's on bark, yeah.
Yeah, like it's completely taken over like the different plates or something. 'Cause you can't, you can't tell how thick it is. Like
Oh, it's
this bark here, like that is like untouched, seems thicker than it?
mhm. Yeah. So is it responsible for, the bark deteriorating, or, did that was that bark already removed, and this is growing from the interior?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
if you see these white patches from afar, I mean, that's what it is. You're not going to see the apothecia until you get up close to it, but once you see those apothecia, that's what you have.
There you go. Good idea, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Nice. All right. Does anybody else have anything from their computer? Let me look in the chat. Before the meeting started, I went into inat and uh, just clicked on New Jersey and filtered to March, and there was a ton of stuff in there, and a ton of stuff from Brandon, actually. March must be your hot month.
I would say it's the most down month, but also I sent an email in.
Oh, did you?
Hmm. Just now after the meeting started. But we can have a look at what we got going on here.
Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff. It felt very March. Oh, look at those. That's a good photo. Whoever this is.
Yeah, I think, when you start talking about fungi that are out right now specifically, um, March is kind of when that first time that the weather gets a little bit warm, which we got this last week. So the last week of February, yeah, we got a snowstorm, but it's been nearly in the 50s for a week now. So you're seeing a bunch of this stuff pop out.
Yeah, and what's nice is after sitting under all the snow, it's all full.
Yep. Well, the jelly fungi in particular, the Exidias and the tremellas and all those, they're unique. I mean, uh, they can dehydrate themselves, they can overwinter themselves, and then all it takes is that right temperature and precipitation, and they rehydrate. So it takes like one day in the yeah, say in the mid 40s in the winter for some of these jelly fungi to reconstitute.
Yeah.
That's a really pretty Ganoderma.
Yeah.
Striking.
Think we can call it Curtisii? Looks like hardwood, right?
Yeah, that's what I'd call that.
Yeah, it does.
What is 99 run balloons? Correct, you're in the lead. So that probably came out like in the fall.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree with that. Ganodermas are good at overwintering and, not
Yeah,
not looking too
Curtisia
grad.
comes up kind of late some years. I mean, I don't find that much of it around here, but when I do find it, a lot of times it's in September.
And I saw a ton of it. I went out Sunday and Monday. Um, I saw so much of it that was very obviously overwintered. Um, just kind of white on the top, you know.
This
Oh, there's one of yours now.
INAT was suggesting I had found the one I thought was Irpex lacteus. They threw this in as a possibility.
I think your observation, those teeth were uh, too long and
Flat.
more like angled pores, which would make sense for Urpex.
Okay.
The Steccherinum, they're very much too not elongated pores. Well, I guess theoretically they are elongated pores, but they don't present as such. They're more hair-like, kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm actually, Steccherinum ochraceum has been tricking me a little bit recently, and maybe it's the fact that I'm finding them in late February or March. I guess not. This is pretty textbook Steccherinum ochraceum.
Yeah, I've found this species in winter, early spring. It just persists. I don't know. Maybe it does fruit during cold periods, but
I
or
think
maybe
it. I
continues
think
to
it
grow.
does. I think it does because this was very fresh.
Uh,
Even those hairs, the spines, like you could feel the feather, the softness to those teeth, if that makes any
uh-huh.
sense.
When you find them in other times when they're farther along, that all stiffens up, I guess.
Well, it's a good question. I'm not sure I know enough about this thing, and I suspect there's more than meets the eye when we just kind of call all of these things Steccherinum ochraceum. Um, I suspect there's some more critters out there that maybe have always just been called Steccherinum ochraceum. So, but that's just my thought. Not sure.
The lichens are pretty neat on there too.
Yeah, yeah, I could have included several observation of some interesting lichen. Um,
Yeah, pretty wild.
My thought with this is, did the Steccherinum grow while it was up in the tree?
yeah, that I would assume because while I said it's been warm recently, the amount of snow that we've had, this preserve in particular, this is my home court more or less. It's the Black Run Preserve. I'm there more often than maybe any other location. So I'm very familiar with the fungi that grow there, as well as like, you know, oh, that's a new downed tree. Uh, so it looks completely different after these winter storms. There are so many trees down, so many limbs down, um, and there's some cool stuff going on at the top of these newly downed, probably previously dead trees. But
Yeah, it's when I find all like the good weird lichens that you can never find until they fall out of a tree.
mhm. Yeah, maybe I threw in the email that I sent. Maybe I included a. Oh, these are all my observations.
Yeah, let's just go to your email. I mean, why what do we even
Well, you can just go to Phyllotopsis nidulans. I know I threw that in there.
let's see here. Inbox. Oh, there you go. There it is. Ah, the first one that comes up. Oh, look at that. We're back. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so this is everywhere right now. Not only in the Black Run Preserve. I mean, it's super abundant there currently. But I've seen it a couple other locations, just like on the side of the road as I'm, you know, driving uh, down an alley or something like that. Beautiful mushrooms, super common, pretty common in the winter.
Well,
That's
that's
on
great.
pine. I'm sorry, is that on pine?
Yeah, that's kind of
Yep.
for hardwood.
Yeah, that's pitch pine, but this also will grow on hardwood.
Okay,
Gotcha.
that's what I was wondering. Okay.
Me
Mhm.
too.
That's a pretty good fruiting of these.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
they don't always stink. In fact,
that's what
I would say less than half the times I find them, they stink.
my non-scientific opinion on that, just from personal anecdote, is that they're more likely to stink when they're on hardwood. But again,
Huh.
that's just kind of my observation of these things.
Okay, well, yeah, I've most of the ones I find are on hardwood, and I would say about less than half the time they stink.
Yeah, and that kind of tracks with I don't record that odor uh, on conifer nearly ever. So I think
Oh,
the only time I've ever gotten that is when they're on hardwood.
oh, I see.
So
Okay,
maybe the odor is, uncommon in general, but more common even on the hardwood.
yeah, that makes sense. Because sometimes they do stink when I find them, and
And oh
they
boy,
persist for a long time too. So they might stink when they're young or something like that,
or vice versa, get
or
some
vice
kind
versa.
of
Yep.
bacteria going in that mixes and doesn't smell great.
Cool. That's actually my only mushroom that I have in my own personal March stuff when I was looking around.
And then I don't think you can assign a seasonality to Phaeocalicium polyporaeum. Um, these are the fairy pins that grow on Tricaptum and other genera as well. They can be
Oh,
found on,
that's nice shot.
yeah, yeah, I like this shot because you can see the Tricaptum and then the geo orientation of, again, probably a newly fallen stick, which is why it's sideways. But this is impressive because when I find the this fungus, the Phaeocalicium polyporaeum, um, you know, you you see a couple, and they're kind of hard to make out. Like, oh, there's one, oh, there's another one. But this entire fruiting of Tricaptum, whatever species of Tricaptum it is, um, was fully colonized by these Phaeocalicium, which I thought was really cool. So more what I'm saying
Yeah.
is this is like the largest fruiting of this Phaeocalicium polyporium that I've ever seen.
Yeah, you can. It's really nice. You can see it on every single one. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can zoom, click maybe on the one on the left and work your way
Oh,
around
wow.
this photo. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like
all
stuff.
exactly. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock shadow.
That's cool.
Is it parasitic?
Um, so this one potentially is parasitic. Uh, so some of these calicioid fungi, this one's Phaeocalicium, there's Mycocalicium, there's several genera. Jason did a talk on this. I don't think he's here yet. Um, uh, and that talk is probably on our YouTube channel, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken. If you want to
Yes.
brush up on it. But this one is non-lichenized, so this is a true fungus.
Mhm.
But a lot of these calicioid fungi are lichenized, so they're probably
Oh,
less likely to be parasitic. But
mhm.
I'm just kind of talking.
Berry pins are a type of parasitic fungi. They grow primarily on the
Okay,
cap.
yeah, there it is. Okay, right, because it's non-lichenized, maybe. Yeah.
All right, cool. Good
Yes,
job,
I will.
Chris. Got
I'll,
Got the answer right there.
They look so much like some kind of xylaria or something when you get up close to them like that. That's cool. That is a big fruiting of them. I don't think I've ever personally found them or noticed them.
I will say that species in particular is so much more common than is observed. Um, if you see Tricaptum CF biforme or whatever you want to call it, take a closer look, and you will notice those Phaeocalicium, polyporaeum fruiting way more often than you would think.
I'll have to actually look for them next time.
Yeah, and you can see them with the naked eye. They're way easier to see with a loop, but you can tell that they are present with the naked eye. So, and
The
then,
the one that grows on Tricheptum abiatum, that's a different species, isn't it? I
oh,
think.
is it? Is
I
it?
think so. I think they have a different name for that one.
Yeah, I would buy that. I mean, ebiatum is the only one that grows on conifer, right?
Yeah, that supposedly is the way you tell the difference
Yeah,
between the trichoptums.
and they are morphologically also they have they don't look like biforme. They don't get as resupinate most of the time, or reflex, I should say.
Oh, I see. Oh, so they're more plastered onto the wood.
Right.
Um, oh, okay.
So that would make sense that a different species would kind of go for that substrate more or less.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think the little fairy pins are two different species. I'm not sure.
Yeah, me
So you
either.
found this in March?
I found this yesterday. Did I find this today? No, I found this yesterday. Um,
Huh.
Second,
yep.
So this is almost certainly a mycorrhizal fungus producing a mushroom now. Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was, it's well, I mean, we could talk about what the actual species on this thing is for days, but that was the cool part about this find. It's just, finding a presumably ectomycorrhizal species on early March, just days after nearly 18 inches of snow fell, is
Yeah,
pretty
that's
interesting.
strange. Hmm.
I mean, could it have persisted?
No, no,
No?
I would say no. Um, this thing was fresh.
Yeah, if it did, it would not look as good as this.
Yeah, if you go back to that last photo, for example, you can see some of the ones that didn't make it. Like, look at the one there, that's
Oh,
a
here.
mushroom. Yeah, that's the
Uh,
same. That's the same fungus that probably froze overnight and just didn't have it. Like the effort all went into this fruiting body and one other healthy looking fruiting body that I didn't touch. Um, but yeah, this thing came out recently. It's not overwintered, in my opinion. Could be wrong.
I don't think that's an overwintered mushroom.
Hmm.
And I'm calling it sanguineus. I think the prop a better name for this is just section dermosoby. Um, I'm not sure sanguineus is an acceptable name in northeastern North America, but could be wrong on that.
I think they're using that name again. But the sanguineus is really red, very red.
I mean, is that what you were calling that? Would it tint color or whatever?
No, that was the name for the old semi-sanguineus, uh, which I think Igor told us has a new name that I didn't.
Tinctorum is
No,
one name. There's
a
another
newer name.
name
Yeah,
that starts with U, I believe.
yep. That was the one he was telling us about. But
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
think
even.
there's three of them actually. I think there's a third one.
Well,
There's
there's a Marylandensis is a accepted name, right?
Marylandensis is completely red though. The semi-sanguineous ones are sort
Oh,
of yellow on top and red. The gills are red. Um, Marylandensis and there's sanguineous is another one, and there's a third one, Harrisonii maybe.
yep,
Um,
yep.
that's also red. One of them has yellow basal mycelium. That supposedly you can tell that one from that trait, but I forget which one it is that has that.
Hmm. Oh, I should maybe I should take another look at these. I think this basal mycelium is white, if I'm not mistaken. I think there was a shot of that. But the point of this submission was just, hey, look at this fleshy mycorrhizal mushroom that
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a that's a mushroomy
the
mushroom
thing
right
is
there.
hmm and a
Yeah,
stunning
that's
one.
so
You know,
nice.
yeah,
Wow.
whatever name we want to apply to these brightly colored dermosipes, they're really beautiful mushrooms, I think.
Yes.
Reed.
Yeah. Beautiful. And in March. So
Yeah.
nice.
Yep. Okay, and then
What
a
Neat.
yeah, we got a little Brucupinate polypore type thing. Um, I have no idea what this is. Also on pine. The Hymenium was it was very fluffy and soft, so it was fresh. But also in that softness, like it wasn't. There are some of these poroid Rusupinate things that are very hard, but this had a fleshiness to it. You see, even
Yeah,
on
you
the
can see
margin,
like it's almost thick.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like raised up a little bit, right?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Yep.
It's got
See
like
that?
almost an edge to it.
Yep. Almost shelf like a shelf, but not Rusupinate in any way, shape, or form. Now I found this Hymenium was actually facing up. A lot of times when I find things like this, it's on the underside of a log or something like that. When I came upon this thing, this is how it was, exactly like that, right there. Which I mean, it could have gotten you know
Kicked
kicked over.
over by an animal or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep. But I thought that was interesting, and also the pores being kind of irregular, kind of angular.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, some of them are round, right? And then some of them are not round at all, with some angles going on. But that could just be a product of, well, look at right towards the margin there, how kind of stretched those pores are. Yeah, right there.
Mm.
But yeah, no idea. Anyone have any suggestion on what to look at for this thing?
Like it's like good luck even describing that thing into some sort of key. It's a white hymenium on a stick.
Yeah. It, when Maricel moved to Portugal, I my ability to identify these things went out the window.
Well, I mean, I suppose the path on that is probably some micro to get you like that next step.
Schizopora. I don't think it's it, but
Would you say Schizopora?
yeah, Schizopora. It's like SCHIZO, but I think not. It doesn't look right.
But
Ceriporia. I've got some things I'm looking at on Quebec here that look a little bit promising.
Which one did you say, Dave?
Ceriporia excelsa is one. I'll put it in chat.
please do.
Although I don't think these are soft. Let's see what it says about the.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That
wow.
looks promising. Yeah.
Yeah, let me Ceriporia excelsa. Let me actually get the a link for that. I have to change from.
Ceriopora reticulata also looks promising.
And on the note of, whether it's soft or hard, I mean, this could very well just be new growth.
Yeah, yeah.
It does look really young and fresh, I think.
I think so too. But for a good note, if it is something young and fresh, the size of the pores uh, it would be diagnostic there. Normally, for something so fresh, those pores are going to be almost you can't even see them, right?
They
Right.
seem large for most crusty-like things.
Yeah, especially if you can go back to the one with my thumb in it, which is actually raised up a little bit above the fungus, gives you a good idea of the size of these pores, right? So,
Yeah, it's
So I just put a link in the chat.
let's see what we got here.
yeah, Dave, that I mean doesn't look completely dissimilar. Obviously some of the in maturity it's more red. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, there's a bunch of different There's several photos, and some of them are red, some of them are white, some of them are cream. Oh, there's actually only 3 photos I see. The top photo, the pores are pretty big on this, it seems, also.
yeah, that's a pretty good lead. This is in a place that uh, I'm about a mile away from 5, 6 times a week, so I can pop back over there and see maybe what this looks like in maturity or as it matures.
Yeah, the white on yours was just that brand new white.
Yep. Yeah. Well, cool. Appreciate that
Nice.
name and the Schizoporia. I'm taking a look at that too. It's worth a look. So thanks, guys.
Nice. That was cool. Thank you.
Yeah, good finds.
Has anybody else sent anything in here? Is anybody looking forward to finding anything soon?
I expect to have some things next week. I mean, it's supposed to be like 70 degrees on Monday or Tuesday and 60s over the weekend and heavy rain on Thursday night and temperatures not falling below freezing for several days in a row. There should be some things. There should be like Mycena and Tubaria and Galerina and who knows what else. Maybe some even more interesting things.
Yeah,
We've got some rain coming too and warm temperatures. So yeah, hoping to find stuff.
yeah, Dave. Even I've seen Tubaria and Galerina in the last couple days. I mean, things are fresh out there even right now. So those conditions continue, like you said, it's going to be really warm, unseasonably warm. Well, it is.
Um,
We are. It
Might
is
be pretty
March.
interesting, especially it's not supposed to be dry either. It's supposed to be a
Yeah.
fair amount of rain on Thursday night. So,
On top
and the
of
snow is still melting.
yeah,
So,
on top of all the snow, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
everything is definitely good and wet. I was walking through Shark River and I was already I know I like it's I could just feel it's that early time, so I'm already eyeballing the pool where the Mitrula pop up. It's early, but I know that puddle.
I love those. I can't wait to see your finds of those. I've never found those, but I love seeing them here.
I have to assume we've talked about this before, Hunter. Are there collections in any of your areas? You know, in Minnesota or Tennessee or anywhere?
I think up in Wisconsin, I think we looked, but can we look? Chris, can you look?
What are we looking for?
The Mitrula range.
Yeah, the distribution of Mitrulas.
Mm, no,
Because they like the bogs, right?
no. How do you spell that thing?
Mitrula.
T. What did you say there? I'm sorry.
IT. MIT.
Oh,
RULA.
well, there we go.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
In Illinois
No, just like if we can look at the
or just the map?
yeah, just like X out New Jersey, so it's the whole US or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta get rid of that filter too.
I was about to say, how are there zero in New Jersey? But
Yeah,
you got to X out of New Jersey on the left there as well.
On the left.
yeah,
Oh,
Top left.
yeah,
Yep.
there you go.
there we go.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it looks up in Michigan
Oh,
there's some and Wisconsin, but yeah, those like northern.
super heavy up the coast. Got some Wisconsin there, but still like following back across the lakes.
Right. This is what I was wondering. That's not a
Huh.
Matrula.
No way.
That is
That's
like a Hygrocybe canarellus.
Look at
maybe a
that.
Rickenella, yeah, or yeah,
Not a
Hygrospes.
Mitrula.
Not a Matrula.
what's the date
Uh,
on that?
July.
Yeah, it can't be Mitrula.
End of July.
Yeah.
so where's that from? Wisconsin? That one?
No, that one I think was
Michigan.
Michigan.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well,
let's look at the ones in
got to rename that because that's a bad idea. We should propose something else.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
don't even know. How do you do that? Oh, down here?
yeah.
Oh,
One
Oh,
more.
and is this
Oh,
research
that.
grade? Oh God.
Oh,
Yeah, this
no.
is research grade.
Oh,
And
jeez.
our friend is proposing.
Oopsie daisy.
huh. Mm,
Oh man, I don't know how I really don't want to be involved.
You should be.
Yeah,
right.
I'll pop in there.
Okay.
Man,
I would too.
you got a suggestion on the identification
Well, Hunter's
besides
suggestion,
anything else?
Hygrocybe
Hygrocybe cantharellus, maybe.
Yeah,
Candelaria, yeah.
that's what it is, I think.
Yeah. Mitrula as if.
Yeah.
And
Or Mitrula my, you know what. Yeah.
My rear indentsis.
Yeah. My tusha, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Byron. Oh, oh.
Here we go. Cat attacks.
Yeah. He hasn't been howling that much though. I try to make a movie when he howls. And when I point the camera at him, he doesn't do it.
Blood chilling sounds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not doing it. No, he wants to play some more. Actually, he's been kind of sick. He has a cold or something.
uh,
How do I move?
Oh, 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 oh. Okay, Byron. You're a tough guy. Now you're gonna howl.
Wild animal.
Oh, he's not doing it.
That's a Mitrula.
That's the Mitrula.
Think so. What's the date on that? May 13. That sounds
Yeah.
right.
Indiana.
Yeah, right
Indiana,
on the border.
LaPorte County.
that's not too far. I mean, it's kind of far, but that's promising.
That's exactly how I find them right there. And then
Yeah.
you could even speculate. Look, there's oak leaves in there.
Yeah, you
And
probably have to look at the spores to tell if it's elegans or glandulosa.
Let's try Wisconsin. Oh yeah.
yeah, that's right.
June 9. Yeah, that sounds right.
Hmm, cool. I gotta find some.
Yeah, but look, there's none.
South of Madison. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe this is, no one's looking.
Yeah.
Gee, I have a lot of observations of these on Mushroom Observer, but um, both elegans and um, glandulosa. Usually in May, maybe early June. Hmm.
I extricated that one.
Hmm.
Within a decent time frame. Yeah, they're probably around there.
Yeah,
They're definitely.
he needs really wet conditions, so really wet.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, they usually run in fresh water that's moving, not stagnant, but small movements of water, small little things that dry up probably in the
Yeah.
summer.
Swamps and things like that. Beautiful places to find these.
Yeah.
I just checked the distribution map of Mitrula on Mushroom Observer, and it pretty much mirrors that of inat, except that there are fewer observations. But there are none reported from Michigan,
Oh.
three observations from Wisconsin, none from Illinois, and only one from Indiana, none from Ohio, or maybe one.
What surprises me about that, Igor, is Hua Feng is in Michigan,
Yeah,
and
Huafeng, yeah.
this is right up her alley. So
And she's like an all-weather mushroomer. She looks for mushrooms pretty much throughout the year. Maybe not so much in wintertime because they probably have a boatload of snow.
they have like 4 feet of snow on the ground right now.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's so maybe that's why, it's still kind of soggy and snowy in Michigan. But if they were finding them in Wisconsin in June, they should be in June in Michigan because it's the same latitude pretty much. The two states are adjacent to each other across the Lake Michigan.
Right. Yeah, and I can tell you that by June, the snow, even if it's been a bad winter, even in the UP, that snow's gone by June. So
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems like this thing is but Chris could be right. Maybe nobody's looking, but I doubt nobody's looking in Ohio and Indiana. I mean, Steve has so many sequence collections from Indiana, and there's only one observation from Indiana. No, actually three from the same place. And but they're not even Mitrula. So I'm really confused why this is showing up on the map of Mitrula. Something maybe I have to report to the um, administrators of a mouse. Something is wrong here. Never mind.
Hmm.
Well, let's see what. Just click on the random observation from like any other state. Let's see from New Jersey. There's only like two observations, and I only see one though, and it is Mitrula, and it's by Brandon.
Likely.
No, definitely. April 27, 2025. That's last year. Observation 576031.
Let's have it.
Let's have it. Yeah, I mean, I could share. I lost that observation. I've got to click on this thing again. But it says two observations, but I only see one. All right, I'll be sharing in a moment. Let me pull it up before I share. Okay. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
And Brandon has some microscopy. Only 3 photographs. And who else voted? Dave W voted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
spores look like cigars.
Yeah, spores
They
look
don't look
like
like they don't look like crescent moons.
they're very, very long.
Oh, is that the real giveaway? Is that if they're crescent or not crescent?
Yeah, that if it's lunulata um, a high percentage of them are going to look like crescent moons, and they'll be pointed on the ends too, so they'll be really tapered. These are kind of straight and a little bit rounded on the ends.
Yeah, they're bacilliform.
Bacilliform, right? Yeah.
They look like pencils. Yeah. So
Now, there's another thing that grows mainly up pretty far north. In I think it grows like in sphagnum, that looks like this, but it's not related. I forget the name of this other thing.
yeah, so when I clicked so this is the map of Mitrula because I searched for Mitrula, as you can see here, names Mitrula. And when I click on this thing, which is in Indiana, and I actually asked Joseph Cohen to fix this feature because it was broken for a while. So when it was broken, when I would click on, do a search and click on any location, it would give me all the observations from that location, not the ones that I was searching for.
Yeah, that was happening to me sometimes as well.
Yeah, and it took me, a while to get this thing fixed because they were busy with other things, and I was like pressing and said, "This is a very useful feature." And so, yeah, instead of Mitrula, we see Cladonia. I have no idea how that happened.
Yeah.
So that's obviously wrong. But if I click on, say, well, apparently there's a Mitrula in Florida, right?
Got plenty
Whoa.
of wet area.
Yeah, let's see what's in Florida.
Let's see
Only
what
one
that
observation.
is.
Yeah, I wonder what that is too.
Because I have a feeling that Mitrula is more of a
Cladonia.
thing. That's not.
Another Cladonia. So I've got to report a bug to Joseph because clearly, for some reason, they're mixing Cladonia and Mitrula together. I don't know why. Well, let's take a look at another one. Just one more, North Carolina, because it's a single observation. And this is another Cladonia. So I don't know why it's showing up.
Yeah.
These Cladonias and Mitrulas are showing up together. It doesn't make sense. I've got to investigate that.
Oh, I paid a few times. It's like over 2,000.
You see, I'm searching for Mitrula.
Yeah, those came up.
And I'm looking at actions, show locations. And it's not locations. I should click on maps. See, the circle is spinning, so it's not sure what it's doing. Let me refresh this page. Something funky is going on. So we have Mitrulas here, right? So we have Mitrulas, but at the same time, we have Cladonias. So how come Cladonias are mixing in with Mitrulas? That's just bizarre.
Yeah, is that person using? Does MO implement any kind of AI kind of visual clumping?
Oh, because they're just both sticks with heads on them?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, not to my knowledge. I mean, there's like no breaking news on MO because they usually, when something happens, they issue like a bulletin, and there's like a whole thing called news, MO news.
Right.
So they write articles. You've probably seen some of them.
Yep.
That's a
like,
great
for
picture of the
instance,
Cladonia, by the way.
yeah. So I have no idea why Cladonias are popping up, with Mitrulas. This is something that I should ask Joseph.
Yeah.
So I'm glad.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad, I did this because apparently this is some kind of a bug.
And that it's only Cladonia, right? Because there's plenty of other stalked Ascomyces type deals with a fertile, more or less head that look more like Mitrula than Cladonia does. So I'm wondering why it's just those two things that are lumped in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna write Joseph an email tonight, asking him why this is happening. So there's got to be some kind of a programming, bug in there, unless you're right, they're using AI, and but I doubt that.
I think it's just some errant artifact in the database. Somehow this got mixed up. They should be able to find that and fix that pretty easily.
Yeah, it's a bug.
It's only, right, if I'm seeing this correctly, it's only Cladonia pisiformis and Mitrula elegans. Or no, there's a Mitrula pallidosa.
Well, it has all the Mitrulas because I was only
blood.
searching for Mitrulas. But you're right. The only cladonia that's showing up is pisiformis.
Yeah, something in the name field or some sort of field that gets searched has somehow picked up Mitrula in it as well, and
Well, it
it's
doesn't
showing
make
here.
sense because my search is very specific. When you click
Yeah.
on this magnifying thing,
I think it's vice versa, Lila. I think for whatever reason, Cladonia, specifically pisiformis, is being included in the Mitrula search.
Yeah, because somewhere in the data set for that Pisiza, somehow errantly the word Mitrula is placed in that data set. Somehow it got in there.
yeah, but it should only be looking for things called Mitrula.
It should, but somehow the word Mitrula is in that got the files got corrupted for Cladonia, and Mitrula is somehow ended up in that. That's why the search is pulling it up.
Okay,
My guess.
that
They'll be
makes
able to
sense.
fix it. Just tell them they'll find that easily.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do that tonight after we're done with Taxonomy Tuesday because I just want to get this thing off my plate because it's a serious bug, and that will probably instigate another tests. They should try. I mean, there's got to be a pattern here, right, of some kind, or maybe it's just some kind of a nonsensical mistake. So, all right. I'm
While we're
gonna.
talking about it, has anyone tried using Index Fungorum recently?
Yes, they changed their interface completely, which I don't like.
Okay. Did
Oh,
you
the new version's not bad. I don't mind it.
do you have
I
to
I, I
sign?
like the old one.
You have to sign up for an account.
No,
Hmm. Okay.
but I just don't like the interface. There's just too much white, and everything is sort of spread around. I don't. I just I'm gonna get used to it, but I'm not impressed.
Yeah, I just popped over there for the first time in maybe a couple months. I haven't been worried too much about taxonomy, but one thing that I'm thinking of is perhaps um, Cladonia or Mitrula, perhaps Mitrula has spent time uh, taxonomically as a Cladonia pisiformis at one point. Maybe that's getting
Well,
picked up.
yeah, but Cladonia is a lichen, so
Hmm.
I don't see
Yeah.
the connection.
Well, they used to call all boletes, right?
Well, that's
Boletus.
different. I mean, a bolete is a bolete, but clearly, a lichen and um, and a fungus, ascomycete. It is. No, that's not. It's not an asco. It's a basidiospore. So I'm trying to look for the name, see if there's anything in the name that would have a some kind of a misplaced synonymy. There you go. No, 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 no. It's
Yeah.
all Cladonius. Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
Mitrula. There you
Right
go.
there.
It's Mitrula.
There
I
it
think
is.
yeah. I think I thought I saw Mitrula with a corner of my eye, and indeed there is. So when you search for Mitrula, it basically grabs any name, not just a genus,
Yep.
Including, yeah,
and
deprecated synonyms.
Yep.
that's obviously a bug.
Is there a Cladonia Mitrula?
Yes, there's a Cladonia Mitrula.
Oh,
That's a synonym of Pisiformis. There's a
And
lichen called Cladonia Mitrula.
oh man. That doesn't seem like an easy sort out now.
I mean, you can do a more specific search, and that probably is going to completely eliminate the error. But if you do a generic search by, a word in the general search window, I mean, if you do this kind of a more extensive search, Mitrula, let's see, Septaxa, which means species. No, we just want a generic name, um, generic genus, and search like that and see what happens. So maybe it's not a
No
bug.
Cladonius.
No Cladonias, no. This is clearly more specific. But the thing is, it's only searching for a genus, and there's only that many observations that have been identified to genus. So it'll be interesting to see again, if you search and then include the subtaxa and see if we're going to replicate that mistake. And I'm pretty sure that we will.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't use this one, so it's
There you go.
it's neat to see how this thing works.
Can you exclude the deprecated synonyms or something, maybe?
Mitrula, okay. Propose, subtaxa,
There's,
consensus.
say synonyms off, maybe turn that off.
But the thing is, yeah, but it's not a specific solution for the problem. If you since one is searching for a genus, I think switching this to no is not really gonna change anything. You're going to get a small subset of observations that have been only identified to the genus, to a genus, in this case Mitrula. So it's not going to change anything. Yeah,
Pause to run it. Just run it for a second and see.
You want to exclude synonyms?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're going to get the same subset of observations as with that thing being yes.
Could be. Let's see.
Because we're looking for. Now we're getting species.
There's you aren't seeing the cladonia anymore.
What did I do with that other parameter? Did I remove this? Subtaxa, yes. But the thing is, Cladonia mitrula is not a synonym of mitrula blah, blah, blah.
No, but it is a synonym of Cladonia.
Something else. Yeah.
Whatever that species that used to be called Cladonia mitrula.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now, but the thing is, we have two completely different entities, and the only thing that links them is the word mitrula. So obviously it's a programming bug.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's picking up on deprecated names. So if the bug would be fixed if those deprecated names weren't picked up on, right?
Right. When we exclude the synonyms,
and it works.
That works. But the thing is, Cladonia mitrula is not a synonym of any mitrula. And that what bothers me, that it only reacts to the word mitrula, and then it just basically throws the whole kitchen sink at you that contains that word.
But I think the way the search is working, it searches everywhere, right? It searches names for mitrula, and if these other fields, synonyms, subtaxa, etc., right, are said yes, then it will search those fields too. Right? Somebody could have proposed something as mitrula that clearly wasn't. It would find that observation if all proposed was set to yes.
Yeah, but let's see.
It's just looking for mitrula in various fields, and you
right,
can show where it's looking.
Let's say that some of the mitrulas were called something else, and they were proposed under that deprecated name. If you click on no synonyms, those observations would be excluded unless they were renamed, mitrula. See my point? You could have something that is now mitrula that wasn't mitrula before. And when you click on the synonym off to no, change it to no, those observations probably would be gone. So it solves one problem, but creates another. Well, I'm just saying. I mean, it's probably not a problem with this particular genus because it has always been Mitrula, and there are probably no other synonyms for that genus itself.
Well,
So,
is that true? That was what I was getting at with. Has anyone been to Index Fungorum recently? Are we sure that Mitrula has always been Mitrula? I would guess that it spent time in many other genera.
well, you want to look for genus Mitrula
Yeah,
in Index Fungorum? I can do that right now. Actually, I'm doing it right now.
cool.
And well, there are two Mitrulas, one by Pursoon and the other one by Fries, or Fries, I should say. So two different names. So the Frisian Mitrula is the correct Mitrula, and the Pursoonian Mitrula is now a genus called Hydaria.
Yep, never heard of that one.
No, I don't know exactly. So I'm not even sure. So if Pursoon's Mitrula is from 1794 and Frisian Mitrula is from 1821, then Frisian should not even exist because that would be a illegitimate name
Yeah,
at the time.
right. If it's after the fact, then how can the thing that was previously called Mitrula not be Mitrula?
Um, because Hydaria was proposed in 1833, so this is after 1821 Mitrula by Fries. Anyway, so all these nomenclature and taxonomic rules are just beyond me sometimes. Whatever, but I think we're just digging ourselves a bigger problem here.
Well, the Frisian Mitrula, did it spend time in any other? If you click on that, the green one, it should give you the whole list, right, of what it was called, and it's been Mitrula the whole time.
What Frisian Mitrula?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
it's been published in this journal, probably Systemica Mycologia or something like that, in 1821, and that's the original publication by Fries. So my point is, if Pursoon's Mitrula from 1794 hasn't been renamed till 1833, then why Frisian Mitrula exists? That's even I would know this isn't correct. That would be illegitimate name. Yeah, well.
Yeah,
So
I'm having a tough time wrapping my head around that, to be honest with you.
yeah, I mean, maybe nobody was aware of this, and these two different Mitrulas coexisted with each other for quite some time till 12 years later, after Fries published his Mitrula. That other name was, genus was erected in 1833 by another mycologist, and they transferred Pursoon's Mitrula into it. I don't really know. Yeah, well, anyway, I'm going to stop sharing so somebody else can share like a real observation. But so going back again to the to this problem, with MO, maybe this is not a bug. Maybe it's just searching non-specifically for for a word. But I kind of find this counterproductive because it throws in it pollutes your search results with something which is clearly doesn't belong there.
Well, the good thing about MO, at least, is that obvious bug or whatever it is, that obvious problem, someone's going to correct it very quickly. The problem with inat is these names get applied and then people just run with it, and that messes with the AI, and that's where you start running into problems over there. So the users over on MO are superior.
Yeah, well,